Did you know that most people who fall victim to emotional manipulation don't even realize it's happening until it has already rewired how they think, how they feel, and how they see themselves? In fact, studies show that nearly 8 out of 10 people who feel emotionally drained in a relationship describe the same haunting pattern. At first, they felt adored. Then, they felt confused. And finally, they felt small. What if I told you that emotional manipulation doesn't start with control or anger? It starts with connection. It begins with kindness, curiosity, attention, all the things you crave most as a human being, until that warmth slowly tightens into a noose made of guilt, obligation, and fear. In this video, I'm going to break down how to spot emotional manipulation before it hooks you, before it convinces you that you're the problem, before it drains your confidence, and before it turns love into control. By the end, you'll learn how to read between the lines, how to protect your emotional freedom, and how to walk away from the invisible traps that hold so many people hostage without ever laying a finger on them. And if any moment in this video resonates with you, please share it in the comments. You might just be the reason someone else recognizes their own situation and saves themselves in time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because every week on Mind Reset, we help you rebuild your emotional resilience and take back your power. Now, let's begin. Imagine this. You're sitting across from someone who makes you feel like the most fascinating person on earth. They lean in when you speak. They remember the smallest details. Their eyes sparkle when you talk about your dreams. You walk away thinking, finally, someone who gets me. But weeks later, something shifts. Their tone hardens, subtly. Their warmth now comes with conditions. They start saying things like, if you really cared, you'd answer my calls faster. Or, I guess I'm the only one who actually tries in this relationship. You laugh it off at first until you notice you've stopped laughing at all. That's how manipulation feels. Not like an explosion, but like a slow leak of oxygen from your emotional lungs. Emotional manipulation matters because it's psychological warfare disguised as intimacy. It doesn't bruise your skin, it bruises your self-trust. And when you stop trusting yourself, you can be led anywhere. Manipulators understand this better than anyone. They don't want your body, they want your belief system. They want to rewrite the story in your head about what's real, what's right, and who you are. That's why it's so hard to notice, because it looks like love, loyalty, helpfulness, until you realize it's really control. Emotional manipulators follow a nearly identical rhythm, what I call the 3-act trap. In the beginning, you are perfect. They shower you with attention, praise, affection. You feel seen, understood, chosen. Psychologically, this activates your brain's reward circuitry, oxytocin, dopamine, attachment. You're bonding deeply, quickly. They say things like, "You're my person," or "No one has ever made me feel like this." And maybe you haven't felt that way either. You relax. You let them in. But it's not connection, it's calibration. They're studying your emotional map, your fears, your needs, your weak spots. Every compliment is a data point. Every secret you share becomes a potential weapon later. Once you're emotionally invested, the script changes. They start linking your self-worth to their approval. I just need you to try harder. You used to be so sweet. What happened? Suddenly, their mood becomes your responsibility. Their happiness depends on what you say, how fast you reply, how well you perform. It's not love anymore. It's emotional labor. You begin to think, if I can just do better, things will go back to how they were. That's the illusion. Now the warmth is cold. The tenderness turns into criticism, sarcasm, silence. You're confused, desperate to fix it. You try harder. They withdraw more, until one day you wake up and realize you don't recognize yourself anymore. And the cruelest part? You might still defend them, because they've made you believe that the pain is proof of passion, that your confusion is your fault. That's the hook. It's not one moment of abuse. It's a series of small emotional debts that accumulate until you owe your peace, your voice, your self-esteem. To protect yourself, you have to learn to spot manipulation in real time. Let's go through 3 major red flags. Red flag 1, conditional love. This is the emotional manipulator's favorite weapon. If you really cared, you'd answer. If you really loved me, you'd change. Every time you hear a phrase that makes your love conditional, you are being trained, not loved. Because genuine care doesn't demand proof through sacrifice. Love invites, manipulation demands. When you feel that creeping guilt for not doing enough, stop. Ask yourself, who actually benefits from this guilt? Red flag 2, gaslighting or the war on your reality. Gaslighting is psychological erosion. It's when someone rewrites your memory. That never happened. You're exaggerating. You're too sensitive. Every denial chips away at your internal compass. Eventually, you start thinking, maybe I am crazy. And that's exactly what they want, a version of you who doubts their own mind. If you walk away from conversations feeling foggy, confused, or guilty for simply expressing yourself, that's not communication. That's control. Red flag 3, isolation. This one sneaks in as love. They might say, I just want more time with you. Or, your friends don't understand us. At first it feels romantic. Then you notice your circle shrinking, your independence fading, and your voice growing quieter. Isolation isn't always physical. It's psychological. It convinces you that your manipulator is your only safe place, when in fact, they're the cage. Recognize these 3 and you've already broken the spell. Now that you can see the pattern, it's time to learn how to break it, not by fighting harder, but by grounding yourself in quiet strength. The first step is to anchor yourself in boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls meant to shut people out. They're filters that decide what deserves to stay in your life. Write them down and make them sacred. I will not apologize for someone else's emotions. I will not justify my boundaries. I will not let anyone make me doubt my feelings. You don't need to announce these limits or explain them endlessly. You simply live them. Manipulators thrive in confusion, and boundaries destroy confusion. They are clarity in motion. Next, create external reality checks. When you start to doubt your perception, when that fog of uncertainty creeps in, bring in a second witness. Talk to a friend, a therapist, or even your journal. Write down what happened exactly as you experienced it. Facts on paper don't lie. It's one of the simplest, most powerful psychological shields you can build. Then slow down emotional intensity. Manipulators rely on speed, fast intimacy, fast trust, fast dependency, because when you're rushing, you're not thinking clearly. So when you feel pressured to move faster than feels natural, slow the tempo. Say it out loud if you must. I care about you, but I move at my own pace. Healthy people will understand that. Manipulators will resent it. Their frustration is your red flag. You must also confront gaslighting with calm certainty. When someone denies your experience, that never happened, resist the urge to argue. Instead, anchor yourself in your truth. We remember it differently, and that's okay, but my memory stands. You don't need to win the debate. You simply refuse to surrender your reality. That quiet certainty is your armor, and it disarms manipulation faster than anger ever could. Finally, strengthen your emotional core. The stronger your self-worth, the harder it is for anyone to twist it. Refill yourself with practices that restore your balance. Solitude, learning, therapy, creativity, community. When your emotional tank is full, guilt slides off you. When it's empty, every manipulator looks like a savior. So nurture your own emotional energy like it's oxygen, because it is. The more grounded, confident, and self-sustained you become, the less anyone can pull your strings. This is how you reclaim your mind, not with force, but with awareness, calm, and the courage to stay centered when someone tries to knock you off balance. So now I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Think of one situation in your life where you felt that subtle twist, that sense of walking on eggshells, that pressure to explain, to please, to prove. Ask yourself, what if this isn't my fault? What if this is manipulation? Because awareness is the first act of freedom. If this video spoke to you, share it in the comments. Tell me one red flag you've seen or one boundary you'll commit to rebuilding today. You never know who might read your words and find their courage through you. If you found value in this, click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to join us every week on Mind Reset as we uncover the patterns that keep you stuck and the tools that set you free. Remember, manipulation loses its power the moment you name it. The moment you see it clearly, it stops being a cage and becomes a mirror. And when you can finally see the reflection of who you truly are, strong, aware, compassionate, no manipulator on earth can take that away. This channel, Mind Reset, is a space we're building together. So tell me in the comments, what topic should we tackle next? Maybe you want to understand the psychology of toxic relationships, how to rebuild trust after manipulation, or how to spot emotional burnout before it hits. Whatever it is, your suggestion might become our next deep dive. We read every comment, and your ideas help shape the conversations that truly matter here. So don't hold back. Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep resetting minds together. Until next time, stay aware, stay grounded, and never apologize for protecting your peace.